Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to go over Tua Tagovailoa's performance against the New York Jets. A little bit of a sloppy game from him, but we're going to break it all down in a film session today. Before we get started though, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. It would really help my channel grow. I really appreciate that. With that said, let's dive right into the video, and I hope you enjoy. So I've kind of made these like Tua Tagovailoa weekly film sessions kind of a tradition at this point, and you know what? You guys are enjoying them, so I'm going to keep doing them. Anyway, let's talk about his game on Sunday. 16 for 27 through the air, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, just under 20 yards rushing the football, 7 carries for 19 yards. A few of those were QB deals, so it was more like 4 or 5 rushes for about 20 yards. So it was a sloppy game. That's really what I'm going to describe it as. He had some really good moments, some really bad moments. Let's break that all down right here, right now in today's film session. Let's dive right into it. And I'm going to show some of the good plays, some of the bad plays. This is one of the bad plays. We're going to start off in one of these bad or not a great play for Tua here. It's an interception in the first quarter. Basically, the idea for this play here is he's going to get these receivers all running, He's going to get all these receivers running across this formation. That's more or less the idea of this play. So basically what happens here is as Tua, it's basically a read option play here. Duke Johnson's going to go this way. Tua's going to keep the ball, looking for the pass. And as Tua moves out this way, because remember, there's pressure all over here, forcing Tua to move this way. Tua has got a few options, right? He's got him underneath. He's got Gesicki over here. And then he's got the trailer, Devontae Parker, coming in a little bit underneath, moving this way moving that way as well. So he's got some options here. So now, Tua kind of has to get rid of the ball at this point, right? Guy right in his face, about to sack him. There's really nowhere to go with this football. What he does know is Mike Gesicki's clearing out this way. And he knows that Devontae Parker is a little bit more shallow coming this way. So his idea is we're just going to throw it into this space. It should be open as these two guys are the receiver in the flat. And then there's only this guy over here that Tua kind of has to get the ball over. And because Gesicki's moving it this way, these two guys are going to be covering this. So this area of the field where Gesicki is, where Devontae Parker is running into, that should be open. And it, in a way, is. So Tua waits a half second longer, tries to fire this ball to Parker over here. Remember, he's trying to get it over here. It looks open. It does. However, this pass is just not on target. As you see, when this happens and when the ball should arrive, Devontae Parker is open, right? He is. But this ball, because of the pressure, is actually over the top of Devontae Parker's head, and it allows for Ashtyn Davis to come in and get it. You see this ball's over the top of Devontae Parker and comes all the way down over here, and that's when Ashtyn Davis is able to make that catch and then turn it upfield for some yardage. But overall, this is just a bad throw from Tua. It's not accurate. It's because of the pressure in his face. And honestly, this is one of the situations where you just rather him take the sack rather than force a ball that he can't quite get into that spot. So just a tough play here from Tua. However, later on in the second half, or rather the first half, Tua actually made a nice couple throws. This was on his first touchdown drive, finding Devontae Parker for a big gain to set up the touchdown. Duke Johnson with the 6 points for the Dolphins here, but Devontae Parker is going to run this right. He's going to curl inside, and then he's going to go towards the outside of the field. And what that does is against 2 safeties here, it tries to get the safety to bite to the middle, and then it allows some space towards the outside half of the field for Devontae Parker to run into. And the reason that he has to do that is because when you play with 2 safeties, the defense is much less susceptible to these outside zones, right? They can really cover those zones. It's more the middle of the field that you can attack. So by Devontae Parker cutting towards the middle field and then breaking out, he's creating a little bit of space for himself. But this is a fantastic throw from Tua Tagovailoa. Number one, he completely recognizes what he sees here. He sees that Devontae Parker is going to have that space, and just look at where this ball is thrown. So as Devontae Parker's come over here, and now he's run back outside, Tua sees that, number one, this underneath defender here isn't really going to be much of an issue, right? He's not, because Devontae Parker's come inside, and now he's come outside, and by doing that, this underneath defender is really he's been taken out of the play. What does have to happen though is this safety has picked up Devontae Parker, and Tua realizes that. So if Tua is able to put this ball on the outside towards the sideline, away from this defender, and then just allow Devontae Parker to go out and just grab it, then good things are going to happen, right? And that's exactly what ends up happening. So more or less here, you just see Devontae Parker go out and make that grab. That ball might be a slightly underthrown, but Devontae Parker is one of those receivers that are really good catching the football with two hands and making big plays on the football. One of the best, traffic catchers in the league, and Tua trusts his receiver there. Really big play, but this is a perfectly thrown ball from Tua, recognizing that there's going to be some space after this route here from Parker, and then taking advantage of that with a pinpoint ball with great touch for the big play, setting up a touchdown. Another thing that Tua did in this game that we haven't seen that much of him in recent time was run the football a little bit. And he did a little bit of that last season, but this season he's been a lot more quiet rushing the football and utilizing his legs to extend plays. And that's something he has done, but not a ton of. But right here, this is going to be a play that kind of just breaks down. Tua's dropping back. It's a play-action player. There's really nowhere to go with the football here as this receiver tries to come across the formation to try and get open on this slant route. There's really nowhere to go with the football. There's pressure in his face. As you see, the pressure coming on this side of the screen, which forces Tua this way, and Tua just does a really good job here. He sees that he has Myles Gaskin as a lead blocker in front. Gaskin's going to run out this way to block for him, and then Tua can simply follow that block, get to the outside, and just run. And as you see, right at first, Gaskin's like, just toss it to me, like just get it to me, and then I can run. But no, Tua does a really good job. Right, there's pressure this way. Tua has the speed and the ability to get to the outside. That's exactly what's going to happen. He just keeps running, keeps getting to the outside, and then is able to, have some vision upfield. Originally, when I saw this play live, I thought he was going to cut it back and try and work towards the middle of the field. But I actually really like him just continuing to move outside and take it out of bounds. That basically means that he won't get hit, no contact, and simply can just get those free yards. Originally, I thought he was going to cut back here, but this is a really good block by Gaskin, giving him the opportunity if he wanted to cut back. But nonetheless, there was a safety coming up from here, and everyone else is coming over from here, so he would probably have gotten squashed. So I like this read by Tua, just taking the yardage, getting out of bounds here, and then picking up 8 or 9 to set up second and short. So this is just a really good read by Tua, and this is something that he needs to continue doing, utilizing those legs, and this is just a good job by him keeping the play positive and getting those positive yards. And this is when Tua is at his best. This is Tua Tagovailoa at his best. It's the play action game. It's the read option game. That is when he plays at his best. It's when he has to read this one defender here. Is he coming down or is he going? And that's basically what's happening. Mike Gesicki's going to run a slant route, a quick slant route, and Tua, all he has to do is he has to read these 3 guys, especially the separation and the spacing between Gesicki and this interior linebacker, or outside linebacker rather. That's really what he has to look at, because he's gonna fake the handoff to Gaskin, right? And immediately what he has to do is he has to be, okay, how stationary is this guy? Because when Gesicki cuts here, right? If this guy's not flat on his feet, then he's got to go somewhere else with the football, or he's going to hand the football off. But Tua, when he knows what he's doing, and he's so instinctive and he makes the read and he goes for it. When he's concise and decisive, that's when he's at his best. And he knows where he wants to go with the football. He sees that this guy's motionless. He sees that this guy is flat-footed in the 2 linebackers for the Jets, and then he's able to just power that football right into Gesicki, who's cutting on his route, and pick up the first down. And Tua gets the ball out of his hand so quickly, catches it, snaps it, fakes the handoff, boom, first down. And this is how the Dolphins need to keep running their offense. This is exactly where Tua excels, because when he gets the ball out of his hands quickly and he knows where he's going with the football, he's at his best. And that's exactly what he did against the Jets, picking up that first down here. And this was probably Tua's best throw of the day. This was an absolutely beautiful ball over the top to Isaiah Ford. Here it's 3rd and 6. There's going to be pressure into his face, and Isaiah Ford is going to run a little go route. He's just going to try and beat his guy at the line of scrimmage and get past him. And it's going to be one-on-one Isaiah Ford versus the slot corner. And Tua's ball here is so pretty. Literally, just look at this. Tua doesn't really know what's happening here. His initial instinct is to try and get Devontae Parker at the bottom of your screen. Remember, it's 3rd and 6. You don't have to pick up a ton of yards. This play ends up going for 27. So, this was not his first option whatsoever. His first option was definitely Devontae Parker here. As you know, he sees his immediate instinct is to turn to Devontae Parker. But then he turns back, goes through his progression. His next instinct is to try and hit Gesicki. But then he sees that there's a little bit of separation here between Isaiah Ford and his man, and thinks that he can go over the top here. But at the same time, he doesn't have all this time in the world to let this play develop, right? There's pressure at his face. There's pressure over here. He can't really go anywhere else with the football. See, just decides to lob one up, right? Just beautiful touch pass here. And just look how high this ball goes. Look how high this ball goes. This is an absolutely beautiful ball from Tua Tagovailoa. He's put this ball up real high so it comes down nice and softly into the breadbasket of Isaiah Ford. This is an absolutely beautifully thrown ball. Just look at that. Isaiah Ford goes out, makes a one-handed grab to reel it in for 27. This is just perfectly thrown from Tua. The corner has no chance to get it because as soon as the corner turns back, Isaiah Ford has the football, right? So the corner has to keep charging Isaiah Ford, but this is just so well done because the ball comes down from so high that it just drops into the hands of the receiver. This is a beautifully thrown ball. Really great touch pass from Tua Tagovailoa. Getting the ball out quickly, number one, picking up the chains and moving the chains, number two, but more importantly, just going through his progressions and making this read, and just what a throw. This was absolutely beautiful. And this throw is all about ball placement. This throw is 100% all about ball placement. Right here, it's going to be Mike Gesicki running an out-breaking route just like that. And this ball is in such a good spot. It's 3rd and 9 here. And as Gesicki starts to run his route, you see these guys are clearing the space for Gesicki to run into. So the idea is to get this space wide open by getting these receivers to really clear it out. That's the basic idea. And Tua knows where he wants to go with the football. He knows he wants Gesicki, so he's eyeing Gesicki down right at the top of his route. Right when he breaks from going straight upfield to turning outside, that's when Tua is ready to throw the football. And look at where this ball is thrown. It's only where Gesicki can get it. It's way out in front of him, so he has to run onto it. And what that allows for him to do is then, once Gesicki catches it, he's then able to turn upfield and pick up some extra yards. And he picks up a lot of extra yards here. But once again, if that ball is just caught here, right, and it's a little bit behind him, that's a tackle right there. And yeah, he picks up the first down, nice throw, move the chains, right? But this play sets up something bigger, and it sets up a touchdown later with Duke Johnson rushing for another touchdown here at the start of the 3rd quarter. But this is just such a well-thrown ball. It's to the outside of Gesicki's body. He's got to run onto it and run through it and pass it, and that allows him to pick up extra yards here. So really well-thrown ball and an accurate ball from Tua Tagovailoa. Ball location is really important, and that's something that he really showed off on this throw to Mike Gesicki. Additionally, Tua is at his best when he gets the ball in his hands quickly. This was a little bit of a weird play here. I ended up being a touchdown to Christian Wilkins on a throw from Tua Tagovailoa. Christian Wilkins lining up in that fullback role with Myles Gaskin in the backfield. Originally, you're going to think, oh, it's a clear run, right? You got the big Wilkins in. You've got Myles Gaskin, and you're going to run the football, right? You're going to just try and pound it in. But no, the Dolphins try and get the ball out quickly, and this is exactly where Tua excels, right? Tua is going to fake that. He doesn't actually really have time to fake the handoff just because I'm pretty sure that's Franklin Myers there. Tries to, the number 98, don't quote me if that is. But Liam Eichenberg doesn't really get the block, and it's just a little bit of a botched play. But Tua gets the ball out so quickly, just protects that ball, keeps it away from the defender as that defender falls down. And then there's another guy coming, but he's just like, okay, Christian Wilkins is open. We're going to turn it upfield. We're just going to move it into the flat, get my receiver in a good spot, and is able to just put that ball in a dime for Christian Wilkins, who can elevate, catch that ball for a touchdown, big man touchdown. But this is just Tua just understanding what he has to do. He's got to get the ball out quickly. He gets the ball out quickly. That's when he's at his best, and that's when he was at his best against the New York Jets. And now we're going to go back to a little bit more of the Tua mistakes and some of the mistakes he made that costed the Dolphins in the game against the Jets on Sunday. This is going to be very soft coverage. It's going to be soft man coverage where pretty much everyone's lined up one-on-one. And this ended up going for a pick six, right? It's going to be cover 2 look here, back here. And really, there's not a lot to this play except Tua knows where he wants to go with the football. From the get-go, he's looking right over here. He's looking in this direction of Hunter Long here on the outside. And Eccles here, the corner, is just reading the eyes of Tua. Tua is, it's very obvious that he's trying to go to Hunter Long here, or at least this area of the field. And all that Eccles does is he just sits back, right? It's soft man coverage. It's 3rd and 14. There's really no reason to be playing press man or really anything tight. You want to keep everything in front of you. So this is a really good job done by Eccles. He's just staying back here and reading Tua's eyes. And Tua's eyes are right at Hunter Long. And as soon as Tua's ready to throw that ball, right, Eccles is like, oh, I know exactly where this is going. Tua wants it right here. Eccles simply charges on it, and Hunter Long can't try and attack that ball because he's trying to play that outside part of the field, trying to get that ball to the outside. And Eckel simply just bites on it and jumps on it. This is just Tua just knowing where he wants to go with the ball from the beginning, being decisive with it, but not understanding where the defense is, right? Just being decisive is good, and being instinctive is good. And those are good traits that Tua shows. But this is one of those situations where, the instinct to just get the ball out really quickly here isn't the best idea, just because Hunter Long isn't at the part of his route where he's able to protect the football, number one. And number two, you've just telegraphed this pass, and this corner knows exactly where you're going with the football. So he's got to change up a little bit. It's just too obvious from Tua that ends up going for a pick six. So overall, this is just a bad throw by Tua, just a bad turn of events. It happens. As soon as I saw this play, I'm like, oh god, it's Ryan Tannehill again. It's Ryan Tannehill again. I've seen this one before, throwing away games. But this ended up good. It ended up being really good that Tua next drive, game-winning touchdown from Devontae Parker. But overall, this was a scary moment here. Tua's got to just be a little bit smarter in the situation here. If a play's not there, just check it down. Get rid of it either to Gesicki or to Gaskin, but that forced throw over there to Hunter Long, really, really scary. However, it set up a great thing, right? It's now 24-24, 3rd and 9, fourth quarter, game's on the line. You got to get a touchdown. It's Tua time. These are the moments that quarterbacks are made of, especially young quarterbacks, and Tua rose to the occasion. Gave up the game-winning interception, but just a few moments later, finds Devontae Parker on a beautiful slant pass, to get the touchdown. And the number one thing I love about this play is how quickly Tua gets the ball out of his hands. Just look at this right here. Tua snaps the ball, snapped here, immediately turns, sees its one-on-one coverage right here, and Devontae Parker's about to get the break on his route. More importantly, Tua sees that there's a free rusher right here, so he knows he's got to get this ball out of his hands quickly. And the timing between him and Parker here is just so exquisite. I mean, Parker's barely started his break in his route, and Tua's already thrown this football. Perfect spot for Parker to grab it, secure it, and pick up some yardage. I would have rather had it a little bit more out in front so Parker could have ran onto it a little bit easier. But nonetheless, the length that Parker has really allowed him to make this play as he picks up that football and then falls into the end zone for a touchdown. But this is just great from Tua, getting the ball out of his head so quickly, putting that above the leaping defender and the two defenders on him, and then allowing Parker to just to go out and make that catch and pick up a touchdown. So really just nice throw from Tua. Really, number one, good placement for this football and good timing and chemistry with Devontae Parker. But more importantly, getting the ball out of his hands so quickly to throw that ball over these defenders for the touchdown. So by no means was this Tua's best game of the season. It definitely wasn't. It was sloppy. It was messy. There were a ton of passes in that first half, especially that first quarter that were batted up in the air. Could have been intercepted. Only 2 interceptions on the game. It arguably could have been 3 or 4. It was sloppy in the first half. He tightened up in the second half. Really utilized, all those timing plays, that chemistry, that run pass option game, and that really helped to really settle it a little bit. But the good things were still there from previous games. You have a few bad games throughout a season. This was one of those bad games from Tua, but nonetheless, he was accurate when he had to be accurate. The touch there was there. The passing the ball downfield, the ability to take those deep shots was all there. Tua throws such a pretty football. He gets it in the right spots. He knows where the defense is. He knows where he needs to put the football. And at the end of the day, he has the clutch factor. Came back, game-winning drive in the fourth quarter to win it with under 4 minutes left. Got the touchdown for his team. He did what he had to do, and that's what he did. Wasn't the best game, wasn't the cleanest game, but he got the touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Had the running game to rely on a little bit throughout that game, but overall, still got the win. He's a winner. He's been doing that his entire career, and I just thought that he played at the end of the day. It wasn't the best stat line. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't always easy, but he got the job done. And moving on to the Saints next week, he's going to need a little bit of a better game to get the win on the road at New Orleans. But nonetheless, good game from Tua overall to keep Miami Dolphins pace and keep them in the playoff picture. And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, see ya.